Assalamu alaikum guys and welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Articles and MCQs. Previously we were studying about the aerobic respiration, and today is the last video of aerobic respiration. Previously we have studied about that glycolysis and Krebs cycle. If you have not studied those videos, I will give the link in the description box. So let's start our today's topic, that is electron transport chain. Electron transport chain, guys, as the name shows, that this is a chain or that will transport the electrons from the electron donors towards the electron acceptors. Hence, in this way, the ATP will produce. But how the electrons come and ATP will produce, we are going to study in detail. First of all, let's discuss that from where the ATP from where the electrons are coming. The electrons will come from NADH and FADH2. Remember, these NADH and FADH were produced in glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Now these NADH and FADH2 will convert it into their products, and the electrons were released. First of all, NADH will break down into NADH positive, and there will be the release of 2 electrons. And similarly, FADH2 will also break down into FADH positive and will also release 2 electrons. First of all, you have to know that NADH will produce 3 total molecules of ATP indirectly. 3 molecules of ATP, and the FADH2, the electrons of FADH2 after passing through electron transport chain will produce 2 molecules of ATP. But why these are the NADH is producing 3 molecules and FADH2 is producing 2 molecules? The reason behind this is that the electrons of NADH2 are high energy electrons, while the electrons that are produced by FADH2 are low energy electrons. So there will be the production of 3 ATP from one ADH molecule, and there will be the production of 2 ATP from one FADH2 molecule. So let's go towards the electron transport chain in an explained way. Here are the reactants and products that will be formed in the electron transport chain. The first is coenzyme Q. The second electron acceptor will be the cytochrome B. Then electrons will accepted by cytochrome C and then cytochrome A. After this, the electrons will be accepted by cytochrome A3, and the last electron acceptor will be oxygen. And oxygen, after accepting the electron, will produce one water molecule. First of all, we are going to study that how the electrons are transmitted by NADH. The 2 electrons from the NADH will transported to coenzyme Q, and the NADH is a high energy molecule while the coenzyme Q is present at the low energy level. So because the electrons are transmitted from their high energy level towards the low energy level, here will be the production of energy, and that energy will be in the form of ATP. So the NADH is producing first ATP here. Now the electrons will be transmitted from coenzyme Q towards the cytochrome B, and the cytochrome B will transfer it to a low energy molecule, that is cytochrome C. Here this arrow is going downward, which is showing that this is a low energy molecule. So because this is a conversion of high energy towards the low energy molecule, so here is also a production of one ATP molecule. Now the electrons will transmit it from cytochrome C towards the cytochrome A, and the cytochrome A will transfer the electrons towards the cytochrome A3 molecule. The cytochrome A3 molecule will last transfer its electrons, the same electrons towards the last a last electron acceptor, that is oxygen. And here is the third ATP molecule that will be produced by the help of NADH. So the first ATP is producing in this first step. The second ATP is produced when electrons are transmitted from cytochrome B towards the cytochrome C, and the third ATP will produce when the electrons will be transmitted from high energy cytochrome A3 molecules toward the lower energy half oxygen, that is oxygen atom. This oxygen atom, guys, will transfer into water molecule, and these hydrogen are coming from the NADH molecule. That you know that NADH is converted into NAD positive and 2 electrons, and it is understood that there is also the production of hydrogen, or simply the protons. That protons or hydrogen are combining with this oxygen and converting it into the last product, that is water. And the NAD positive and FAD positive molecule will again go towards the glycolysis and Krebs cycle, and the cycle will be repeated. This is how the NAD molecule is producing its 3 ATP molecules. Now, the next we are going towards that how the FADH molecule will produce its 2 ATPs. Guys, FADH molecule is a have a low energy electrons. So these low energy electrons will first be accepted by cytochrome C, coenzyme Q. First accepted by coenzyme Q. Here is the FADH molecule, and the 2 electrons will accepted by coenzyme Q. But there will be no production of ATP here because there is no difference of energy level between the FADH2 and coenzyme Q. So there will be no production of ATP here. In the same way, the 2 electrons of FADH2 will transfer to cytochrome B, and the cytochrome B and coenzyme Q have almost the same energy levels, so there will be no production of ATP here also. In the next step, the electrons are transmitted from cytochrome B towards the cytochrome C, and because there is the high difference of energy level here, so 1 ATP by the help of FADH will produced here. In the same way, cytochrome C is now transferring the electrons toward the cytochrome A, and there is no production of ATP during this conversion because the cytochrome C and cytochrome A has the almost same energy levels. Now the cytochrome A will transfer the electrons toward the cytochrome A3. In the similar way, cytochrome A3 will transfer the electrons toward the oxygen again, and there is production of 1 ATP molecule also here by the help of FADH2. In the same way that oxygen will convert it into water molecule, and this time the hydrogens are coming from FADH2 and the electrons are coming from FADH2 also. So there is the production of 2 ATP molecules by the help of one FADH2, first from cytochrome B towards the cytochrome C conversion, and the second ATP will produced when the cytochrome A3 is transferring the electrons toward the oxygen, that is last electron acceptor, and it is present at the lowest energy level. So here you see that how the NADH and FADH2 are producing 3 and 2 ATPs respectively, and how the electrons are transferred or transported from the electron donors that are at high energy level towards the electron acceptors that are at lower energy level. So you can say that here the coenzyme Q is present at the highest energy level and the oxygen is present at the lowest energy level. In this way, the electron transport chain works, and there is the formation of ATP molecule. The second thing we are going to discuss in this video that how many total ATP produced during the aerobic respiration. So let's move towards this. Here is the complete chart. You know that during the glycolysis, there was the production of two NAD molecules, molecules, and we know that that one NAD molecule is producing 3 ATPs, so the total ATP producing are 6, and the 2 ATPs were also produced during the glycolysis in direct way. During the pyruvate oxidation, there was also the production of 2 NADH, one NADH produced by one pyruvate molecule, but because the total number of pyruvate molecules were forming during glycolysis was 2. So we will consider here the 2 pyruvate molecules conversion. If the 2 pyruvate molecules enters the pyruvate oxidation, then there will be the production of 2 NADH and hence 6 ATP molecules. And during the Krebs cycle, we will consider 2 cycles here. The same reason is that during glycolysis there will be the production of 2 pyruvate molecules, and that 2 pyruvate molecules enter the pyruvate oxidation, and that the products will enter into the Krebs cycle. So there will be the production of 6 NADH resulting into 18 ATPs, 2 FADH2 resulting into 4 ATPs, and there will be the production of 2 ATPs directly. So when we calculate all these calculations, there will be the production of total 38 ATPs during the aerobic respiration. Here I hope you all learned about that how this electron transport chain is going through and how the total 38 ATPs are produced during the aerobic respiration. If you like this video, share this video with your friends. Thank you so much.